Today we're going to talk about the engineering design process. The engineering design process is a method by which we can solve problems that we find throughout the world. These problems can be improving a product, figuring out a way to do some task that hasn't been done before, or simply taking something that we have in our home or business, something in the world around us that is working, but we see a way of doing it better, and taking it from identifying it as something that needs to be improved to a final product. This process is a circular process. If you look at the screen in front of us, we can see that this entire process is circular. The 6 steps of the engineering design process take us through a way of thinking that is found in the scientific method and in most people's decision-making methodology. The process starts by identifying the problem, then coming up with a variety of potential solutions and concepts that relate to how to solve the problem. Then the group or individual that is working on the project must develop a single solution. They must test that solution. They then, in step 5, evaluate whether that solution is working. At any step along the way, they can stop and determine if they have the ability to go on or if they should go back to a previous step. So there's a decision-making point at each of the steps to validate what is occurring. Once they have a viable solution, they then can present that solution, but that isn't the end of the process, because in engineering, we are always aware that there is a better solution than the one we have, and we must go back around this loop to see how we can improve what it is we're doing. Here in Engineering Principles, we are going to be using this engineering process in every project that we do. To document the process, we will be using one of 2 techniques. The first technique that we will be using is we will be using a printed form called the North Pocono engineering process. This isn't anything special to North Pocono, but it is a way that we can think about engineering and problem solving in many organizations. The first thing we do in this process is we name it and name who's involved. That is what's occurring in the top lines here. The next step is to define the problem. What is it that we're trying to solve? If we can't take the problem and put it down on paper so that other people can read it, then we may not actually have a problem. Writing down the problem helps us stay focused throughout the entire project. The next step is to generate concepts. This is the part I mentioned to you earlier where I said that you need to brainstorm. You need to go out and look for many, many possible ways of solving the problem. Talk to friends, talk to family, read, look on the internet, see if you can find where someone else has done the project you're trying to do. And if they haven't, then you can start from scratch. If they have done the project before, what can you do to improve on what they have done already? The next step is, again, developing that solution. We take a look at the concepts that we have collected. If I'm doing the project by myself, I need to identify which one I feel is the most viable. If I'm working with a group, we need to discuss that together, and we must come to consensus. If we don't, each member of the group will be working in a different direction to try to solve the problem. We need to work as a team. We need to know together that we agree with what direction we're going in. Once we have done that in this class, you will present the proposal to the teachers, and we will take a look at it and make sure that the project is safe, and we will also make sure that it is something that we can do with the resources and time we have in the class. Once the project is approved, you must then start to plan goals. Goals are the steps that you use to solve the problem. I use an analogy of building a house. I don't write down my goal, my initial problem is I need to build a house, and then say, I think about building a house, the house is now built. There are many, many steps to that process. One goal might be to dig a foundation. Another goal could be to get materials. Another goal could be to lay the foundation. Another goal could be to build the walls. Another one could be to install the electrical. Another one could be to install the plumbing. So you get the idea that there are many, many goals in a project. Depending on the size of the problem, the number of goals can vary. Each goal should be SMART. It should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. You should record who is involved. You should record what does it involve. You should record where it will take place. Will it take place here in school? Will it take place on a construction site? Will it take place at your home? You also should record how we are going to reach each goal with sub-goals. Saying I need to get materials is a good goal for building a house, but what materials and where? Are you going all to the same store? Are you going to different stores? Are you ordering them from the same company? Are you ordering them from different companies? Who's in charge? These are all questions that need to be answered in the planning process. Why do we need this stuff? It's a valid question. If we can't answer why, then probably the goal is not one that we should be working towards. How will we verify that it's done? When will it be done? These are all questions that we want to answer. And so as we're going through this process, we are going to evaluate each goal that is leading to the end of which is the problem solved. These goals could be 2, 3, 4, depending on the process. Once the goals are laid out, we can create a flow chart to help us describe in a visual way what steps we are taking. We'll talk more about flow charting when we a little bit later on in the course. Each day, we do want to record our progress to make sure that we're staying on task. And we also want to make sure that if somebody asks how long it took to do a part of it, because we want to recreate that, we can give an answer. So each day we'll record the progress, what we did, and if there are any issues, we will also mark them here as well. When the entire project is done, we always must take a look at what went right, what went wrong, and what we need to try the next time. And this evaluation tool is a very simple tool that allows us to know where we can improve, but also tell people that are doing the project or building or on our project what went right, so they know what to expand on if they are also working on this project. Okay, so the next way we're going to do this is through a digital submission. If you look in your Google Classroom, at the top you'll find a materials assignment that is posted that says engineering process, and in there you'll find the 4 spreadsheets that you'll see here in this video. In this particular assignment, I will, and in future assignments, I'll also repost these so that you have a fresh copy. The way we do this is just very similar to the paper copy, few minor adjustments. We have our project title and your name. So I'm going to do a project today of building a shelf. So our project title is Build a Shelf. I'll call it a bookshelf. My name, Joe Student. Step one is what's the problem? I have a bunch of books and I need to put them on a shelf. There we go. I have a bunch of books. I need to put them on a shelf. I need a bookshelf. Okay, so I recorded the problem. I need a bookshelf, and I recorded the project title. The next step is I'm going to generate concepts. This can be done a couple different ways, as I mentioned previously. I may go look at other people's bookshelves. I may look on the internet. I may talk to people that have built shelves. There are different techniques. There are different styles. There are different colors. There are different woods. I will generate a whole myriad of concepts and write them down here. Once I have all of these potential ideas, I'll whittle it down. I want a white shelf. I want a stained shelf. I want it made out of maple. I want it made out of oak. Whatever it is, I'm going to start to make some decisions, and I will write whatever the final decision is here in developing the solution. The bookshelf will be made out of ... and be the color of ... I make a decision and I write it down here. So now I have a clear description of what the bookshelf will look like. This is my vision statement. This is what I'm setting all of the goals for. So when this is done, I submit this document to your teachers. It is ready to go, and we will let you know if there are any issues before you go and start working towards your goals. The next step is to develop the goals. If you look at this goal worksheet, you'll see that there are 5 goals. There might be 7, 8, 9, 10, depending on the project. So for this project, goal 1 could be something as simple as pick up wood. Goal 2 could be something like build the shelf. Goal 3 could be something like paint the shelf. Goal 4, goal 5, goal 6, install the shelves, put the books on the shelves. So each one of these are goals that get us to our original vision, our solution to the problem. The goal itself should have the components of a SMART goal. A SMART goal just isn't pick up wood. It would be pick up wood by, so it's specific, pick up the wood, it's measurable, the wood is picked up, it's attainable, I can pick up wood, it's relevant because I need wood to build the shelf, and it's timely. So pick up wood by September 7th. So we have all the specific parts. Who does this involve? Well, I might need a friend, so I'll say Dr. Kroom and friend. Maybe I can just do it myself. What does this involve? Going to the store, to the lumber yard, and picking up wood. It's important that we know what is involved in the process. Where will this take place? At the lumber yard. So we now have a location. And I was typing fast up here, lumber yard. And now we start to develop the steps. The steps are something like drive to the lumber yard, September, pick a target date, September 5th. Pick out the wood. September 5th. Step 3 could be take wood home, September 5th. Well, at that point, I have done the steps. I probably should have a pay for the lumber, things like that. That could be how those goals are broken down. Depending on what you're doing, these goals are the steps you're going to take to accomplish the original goal. Each one of these sub-goals gets us to the point where we have done the goal. The goal is one of the steps to reach the original solution, which we talked about back on the previous sheet. So why do we do this? Well, we need wood. How will completion be verified? The wood is at our house. When will this be done? Well, we said we wanted it by September 7th. So each one of these goals up here sub-goals should have a target date before the due date, and we should then be able to evaluate that it is done on time. In the class, we may have a target date of the project must be done in 2 weeks. So after 2 class periods, I'm going to have part A done. After the 4th class period, I'm going to have part B done. After the 6th class period, I'm going to have part C done, so that the whole thing is done after the 8th class period. And so you can backdate your project so that things are completed on time. Once all of the goals are created, you actually are going to show this to the teachers again. We'll let you know if we see anything that needs to be modified, and then we'll give you the green flag to go ahead and build the project. Along the way, you want to evaluate what is happening. You mark down the date in your design log, description of what you did on that date, and the next step. The next step becomes the first thing or part of the description in the next day you work. So we should be seeing connections between your next step and what you're doing next in the description. So I want to build the shelf. I need to buy the wood. So explanation, I bought the wood. Next step, cut the wood. I cut the wood. Next step, screw the wood together. And so you will keep zigzagging your way down through here. Each day you're showing your progress of what has occurred. You want to log every day whether things go right or wrong, so that way you know what you did on those days. And that is how you're going to get your grade, and that's how you're going to get paid, that you've logged what you've done. When the entire project is over, that is when we go to the engineering design evaluation, and we mark down, we type in here what went right, what went wrong, and what you would try again. Again, submitting all 4 of these documents to us at the end so that we can evaluate the project along with the project itself, so that way we can see the end product. So this is the engineering design process. As I mentioned, we'll be using this throughout the class. Tomorrow's assignment will be based on this topic.